Extreme wind today and very dry conditions have us in the middle of a red flag warning. This is what our crews encountered while in Arvada this morning. Now a live look. Let's take a look from our camera atop the Four Seasons Hotel. It was shaky this morning, still really shaky out there. Be safe, everybody. The winds have been so strong near the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels. Our Matt Renew, unintentionally, take a look at him, got some frosted tips. Look at all that hair in his snow. The 90s are back. This is the wind that led to those frosted tips. It was really blowing out there. Joining me now is Chris Spears with our 9 News Weather Impact team. Chris, you are in the backyard. You're holding that flag. Tell us about what happened to it earlier.
Well, Sam, you think us weather people have difficult jobs in Colorado. Flags have tough jobs because they go through extreme temperature changes, all kinds of weather elements, and unfortunately our flag that flies high above 9 News here, this windstorm, it was no match. It is torn and tattered, and we are going to have to get us a new one flying high above the building. But if this is all the damage out there, we'll take that. We certainly don't want to see anything bad happening. I want to show you some of the weather stats so far. We have had a couple of places in the foothills in particular gusting 75 to 80 miles per hour just outside of Brainerd Lake, the highest gust so far, but most places have been in the 50, 60 and up to 70 mile per hour range. And as we speak, those winds are still up there, gusting 50, 60 miles per hour. The base of the foothills, that's really where some of the strongest winds have been, and they've really been concentrated in Boulder County. Longmont, for instance, Boulder Airport, you have both been gusting 40 to 60 for several hours. In the high country, we have the wind, but we also have 2 elements to talk about: fresh snow falling from the clouds and blowing snow from all of the wind. And these headlines, they're going to stick with us, Sam, into the afternoon. We have to talk about additional wind speeds, more fire danger, and some tough mountain travel, at least for a few more hours. I'll break it down in the full forecast coming up.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Chris. Well, speaking of that wind, our Janelle Finch was out in the wind all morning and she gave us a closer look.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is keeping track of these winds to make sure they don't lead to something worse. Jeffco says December has been extremely dry. There hasn't been a lot of snow, causing dried up grass and vegetation. The Sheriff's Office says if a fire starts in these conditions, it could take off quickly. The fire management officer says there's increased concern on red flag warning days because the county is mixed with homes and grasslands, meaning more is at risk.
And so the wind with those fuel conditions has the potential for large fire growth, especially in the lower elevations, similar to what we saw with the Marshall fire up in Boulder County in 2021, that catastrophic fire event.
The winds today aren't expected to be as strong as they were 3 years ago, but Jeffco has reached out to fire agencies to make sure that all departments are staffed at higher levels to accommodate a need should something spark. In Arvada, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Janelle, thank you. And we all know wildfires can happen at any time of year right here in Colorado. 3 years ago today, the most destructive wildfire in Colorado history, the Marshall Fire, sparked. 2 people were killed, and the fire burned more than 6,000 acres in Louisville, Superior, and unincorporated Boulder County. More than 1,000 homes and 30 commercial structures were destroyed. The investigation, which lasted more than 2 years, determined there were actually 2 fires that merged. The first was an old smoldering fire on the property of the 12 Tribes religious group that reignited. Then a damaged Xcel power line was the likely cause of the second fire. And we'll have continued coverage on the fire starting today at 4. Condolences continue to pour in the hours since we all learned former President Carter passed away yesterday at the age of 100. His funeral service in Washington, D.C. will take place on January 9th. President Biden has also declared that a national day of mourning will take place. We also know that between now and then, his body will be coming from Plains, Georgia, where he passed away, and taken to the Carter Center. That's where there will be a service and also a public observance for anyone who wants to come out and honor his legacy and remember him. More details regarding the memorial and funeral are expected to come out later today.